Welcome to Raya's Power International 2018. Well, we all know that new cars come out in September of the year prior to their actual model year. So I thought, why not start Raya's Power International 2018 this November 2017? Get everybody pumped up, get everybody thinking about what their bodybuilding, powerlifting goals are going to be for 2018, and get some new information out there so that they can have even more knowledge to reach their goals. When people hear the word anabolic, they often think of steroids, and they're right. However, there are other items that a bodybuilder or powerlifter can add to his or her repertoire that are anabolic. For instance, insulin is anabolic. Now, if you recall, when we talk about the multi-carbohydrate leverage loading diet, we eat 6+ meals a day, and the reason we do that is for a constant release of insulin, because insulin is anabolic. How is insulin anabolic? Insulin causes amino acids to be transported to the muscles. Therefore, insulin is anabolic. Most people do not think of water as anabolic, but it is. It helps form the structures of protein and glycogen, which is the fuel that muscles burn. Water provides the muscles with electrolytes, sodium, potassium, which prevent cramping. They improve the strength of muscle contractions. They quicken the muscle response. And you know, when a bodybuilder trains with weights, the blood actually contains water, obviously, that is pulled. The blood's already in the muscle, and that water is pulled out of that blood into the muscle cells, okay, with additional things like glycogen, oxygen, and this is how you get your muscle pump. Now, we all realize that water is what transports nutrients to cells. Now, bodybuilders are going to require more water than the average person simply because they eat more food, vitamins, other nutrients, supplements, and those items are going to have to be transported to the cells, okay? Now, as a result of the metabolizing of these nutrients, there are going to be waste products produced, which are going to require even more water to be excreted from the body. So that's why bodybuilders need a lot more water than the average person. Now, it's been estimated that about 75% of Americans are mildly dehydrated. And when the body becomes dehydrated, water is pulled from the muscle cells back into the blood. And this occurs to have a safe blood pressure level, and it preserves normal circulation. Now, this type of environment, though, shrinks the muscle cells. It slows protein production, and it speeds the protein breakdown. So it's a very negative for bodybuilders or powerlifters, let alone the average person. So that's why you want to make sure you are hydrated 24/7 if that's possible. Now, I get up in the middle of the night and I drink. Every time I wake up, I've got a bottle of Gatorade or water next to my bed. I take a few sips, and I wake up several times during the night. So that's just common sense, and it's something you want to make sure that you put the effort forth as far as you being a bodybuilder or a powerlifter. Now, when a powerlifter or bodybuilder feels dehydrated, that person is already waited too long. It's too late. You're dehydrated. You know what I mean? If you're thirsty, if you are thirsty, you're dehydrated to a degree, probably mildly. Now, when you reach the point where you're 3 to 4% dehydrated, your performance is compromised. It's really going to take down your top end. So, again, this is another reason why you want to stay hydrated. It's actually going to drop the weight as far as a powerlifter, a max, a 1-rep max, or even what a bodybuilder trains for reps is going to be compromised. Now, anybody that trains with weights seriously, a bodybuilder or a powerlifter, is going to need 3.5 to 7 liters of water per day. That's 7 to 15 pounds of water. And I know that sounds like a lot, but it's not. Why is it not a lot of water? Because you get water from your food. You know, just fruit contains 80% water. And you've got to remember that you want to drink enough fluids so that you never get that feeling of being thirsty. It's just like when you're eating as a powerlifter. If you get the feeling of being hungry, catabolism has already set in. It's too late. So it's the same with water. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to carry a water bottle around all day, but because you get water, like I said, from food, but you get it from your pre-workout drink. You can get it from milk, tea, you know, all kinds of different beverages. These things can contribute to your hydration. Now, as far as maintaining my water, electrolytes, sodium, potassium, I will favor, even though I know it's got high fructose corn syrup in it, I will favor Gatorade. I'll drink that throughout the day and evening. But you've got to remember, to me, that's the base source of my water and electrolytes. These other drinks that I drink throughout the day with meals or a pre-workout add to that. The food, the water and the food adds to that, so you get that cumulative 7 to 15 pounds of water per day. Always when I've talked about water and hydrating muscles, somebody's come along and asked me, well, what kind of water do you drink? And the answer is the purest, the cleanest water is distilled water, okay? It's heated to a certain degree. The vapor goes into a separate container. It does leave behind all the minerals, but you can't get minerals from water because they're not organic, they're inorganic, they're rock. So you don't have to worry about that, but it leaves behind all the sediments too, you know? So distilled water is your first choice. And just, you know, any type of bottled water. I never touch water from a faucet, okay? The local water is going to have chlorine in it and a lot of other things like heavy metals, especially if you get your water from a river. If you get water from an aquifer, you're probably in very, very good shape. But I live in Peoria, Illinois. Certain sections of the city get water from the Illinois River. And there are a lot of insecticides and pesticides and various chemicals from farming that drain into that river. And they can only get so much of it out. They get most of it out, but still we have heavy metals from manufacturing that aren't completely taken out. So that's why I stay away from water from the faucet.